Hello everyone, it's nutrition expert Liam here, and in this video that I've created for you today, I've put a bit of effort into, and it's on the topic of depersonalization derealization disorder and how to treat it using nutrition. Those of you who suffer from depersonalization derealization disorder would know that it is characterized by persistent feelings of being detached from your body and your mind. You almost feel as if you lack autonomy. So, this ability to control your speech, your movement, and possibly even your mind in general. It's quite terrifying. Therefore, you actually experience this sense that we call unreality. You feel unreal. You feel as if you are just drifting through life, as if you're not an active participant in your own world. Now, new scientific research has indicated that there may be a connection between DPDR, which is depersonalization derealization disorder. So, when I use the acronym from now on, just know that I'm talking about this disorder, and the function of a receptor found in the brain known as NMDA receptors. These NMDA proteins are a receptor for the neurotransmitter glutamate. For context, glutamate plays a key role in excitation. And by excitation, I simply mean it is a neurotransmitter that encourages the transmission of nerve impulses or action potentials, as they're also known, between neurons. Okay, so when these neurons are communicating. Essentially, it excites the neuron, which significantly increases the likelihood of the receiving neuron, the postsynaptic neuron, firing a nerve impulse or action potential. Now, in regions of the brain such as the hippocampus and cerebral cortex that are involved in cognition and memory, there's a high density of these NMDA receptors. Now, NMDA receptors can also be found in the basal ganglia, which has many involvements in movement, and the amygdala, which is essential for the processing of emotions. So now, as you could imagine, dysfunction of these receptors and the glutamate neurotransmitter can therefore lead to issues with cognition, memory, movement, and emotional processing. That is very interesting as dysfunction of these activities leads to many of the symptoms of depersonalization derealization disorder. Now, our understanding that increased activity in the NMDA receptor mediated glutamate system, that's a bit of a mouthful, can lead to the debilitating symptoms of DPDR comes from observational studies that have noted that drugs like ketamine that block NMDA receptors can induce powerful dissociative states. What these observations suggest is that by modulating the activity of NMDA receptors, you might be able to treat dissociative disorders. Some research has also suggested that those who suffer from DPDR disorder might additionally suffer from increased levels of glutamate, that neurotransmitter we talked about earlier that's very excitable. Therefore, it is believed that by balancing glutamate levels in your brain specifically, you may be able to control the symptoms of depersonalization derealization disorder. In contrast to glutamate, the inhibitory neurotransmitter GABA strongly decreases the likelihood that a neuron will become excited. So it pretty much plays the opposite role of glutamate in the nervous system. This helps to evenly balance any excitatory activity that occurs in the brain. Without an even balance of inhibitory and excitatory function in the brain, a healthy brain state cannot really be maintained. Now, I personally have suffered from DPDR since adolescence, and I found that there are some key nutritional supplements that are very effective at treating some of the symptoms of DPDR. I can't guarantee they're going to cure your condition, considering the complex nature of DPDR, but it might be of some assistance. Now, I don't recommend you take my advice as a replacement for pharmacotherapy, but merely just use it as something that can assist you through your journey with this disorder. Unfortunately, I know all too well that most psychiatrists are completely incompetent at treating DPDR. Now, the first supplement I recommend for treating DPDR is magnesium, and it's an amazing mineral, and I've recommended it in almost all of my videos now. It just plays such an amazing role in our mental health and in our nervous system function, among many other things. I try to take a bioavailable form, typically like magnesium glycinate, every day. You can take other forms like threonate and citrate, but try to stay away from very poorly absorbed forms such as magnesium oxide. Terrible, really. Magnesium is known to act as a natural modulator of NMDA receptors. Magnesium is able to block many of the negative effects associated with the excitatory neurotransmitter glutamate. Magnesium, additionally, is just very useful for brain health in general. Another supplement that I personally use to treat both DPDR and, in fact, actually OCD is N-acetylcysteine, otherwise known as Knack. That's what it's more commonly known as. Now, Knack increases glutathione levels, which is this powerful antioxidant that is known to protect against the damage caused by increased glutamate levels in the brain. Essentially, glutamate can cause this sort of neurotoxicity if it accumulates too much in the brain. If you could imagine, there's too much sort of excitatory function going on. And this is sort of when you become so excited and so agitated, your body, to sort of resolve the issue, essentially numbs yourself and gives you a lot of those symptoms that you associate with dissociation. Another supplement that I try to take every day that is also very beneficial for DPDR is taurine. Now, you might have heard of this supplement before. It's quite commonly found in energy drinks because it's quite good at sort of calming those sort of anxious symptoms that are associated with caffeine consumption. So it sort of tries to even out the caffeine in the energy drink. Taurine is a well-known amino acid that has the ability to modulate the activity of those NMDA receptors. The last supplement I recommend is pyridoxine, known simply as vitamin B6. Now, vitamin B6 plays a role in the body as a cofactor in the biochemical synthesis of the inhibitory neurotransmitter GABA that we spoke about a little bit earlier. And by cofactor, it basically means it just helps to increase the efficiency of the chemical reaction that synthesizes or creates the neurotransmitter GABA. GABA itself assists the brain by balancing out glutamate-induced excitation. Guys, that brings an end to this video. I hope to discuss this topic maybe a bit more in the future if anyone's interested. I know it's quite a niche topic that people are probably not familiar with unless you've suffered from the disorder. I hope you all learnt something, or at least find some of my advice helpful. And I hope to hear from you in the comment section if you enjoyed any of the advice. And I hope that you subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.